Please join me in Gasho. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Good morning, and welcome to our regular Sunday service. Just so that we have a first-time guest here. The 10:30 service is an English service, and we have a Japanese service from 11:30, just to let you know, okay? So welcome everyone, and we'll begin this morning's service with a moment of silent meditation, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha, or the Onenbutsu. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Okay, we will now have a reading, and we're going to read our pledge, and I'm just going to bring it up. Let me just. It's going to be on the screen there for those who are here. I hope you can read that. There. Oops. There we go. Okay. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I shall carefully share a warm smile and speak gentle words just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall be open-minded and act accordingly, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I shall share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life we have received, I shall live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who continues to emancipate all. Namandabs, namandabs. Next, we will have the sutra chanting, and we're going to be chanting the Jusege in Japanese and then chanting it again in English following it. So for those of you who are here, For those of you who are here, the Jusege you can find in the purple Seiten on page 83, if you prefer to follow the Seiten. It's on page 83 of the purple Seiten. Namandabs, 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 namandabs. 가건 조세가 이심의전어 시감만덕 세부조셔각 가워무려거 의다이세슈 의사이쇼빙의 세부조셔각 가시저부드노 묘셔저지모 극염이셔모 세부조셔각 리역진셔네 조에시방여 시금의전어 이셔대니시 진리기엔나이고 의셔무사이노 쇼조상금요 고사이슈야그나 가이지에게 메시고모아 해석의쇼아그도 스다드센슈모 고소조만석 이여라지모 니지가스슈주기 땡고무게 이슈가요도 고세그도그호 조다이슈주 세보시시그 그여이사이붓 그석으슈도그호 간내시드조마 도그이상하요 녀부드무게지 스다드미으쇼 강하그에릭 도시사이쇼서 시간야고가 다이세모간도 복으셔되니 도지명에 나만 남은 나만 남은 나만 남은 나만 남은 나만 남은 나만 남은 간이식은 너그 묘도세 이사이 노드모나이시 오우조 안하고 너만 없어 너만 없어 너만 없어. If I can get So we're actually going to chant the same Jusig in English, and you'll find it on page 117 of your red Satan that Sherry just passed around. And for those at home, it's on your screen. Namandaps, namandaps, namandaps. I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path. If I fail in any way, may I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice a noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach a supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons, and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe, and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together awakening awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. No one knows, no one knows, no one knows, no one knows. Okay. Let me just. Pin this one. Okay. So once again, good morning, everyone. For those who are here joining us in person, thank you for coming. And for those on Zoom as well, thank you for joining us. Those here don't need to see me on screen, I don't think. So anyways, this morning I wanted to share with you, first of all, I read a little survey of, this was the temples in the States, BCA, Buddhist Churches of America, and apparently they, like us, since the pandemic, there seems to be a difficulty. The attendance of people attending temples has dropped drastically, not only here, but also in the States. And so they were talking about various ways of trying to encourage people to attend the temple again. And overall, the difficulty of having people coming back in person. We see here too that we have so many people who join us by Zoom, and yet, I think we have like 24 people 24 families on Zoom, and we have a handful of people here at the temple. But and it can be quite discouraging at times, I think, for a lot of people when they feel that the attendance has decreased or declined. And it reminded me actually of a person whose scroll is on the left of the statue facing the altar. His name, of course, is Rennyo Shonin. And I wanted to start off by reading one of the letters of Rennyo Shonin. And where is that? It's on page 128 of the red Seiten, if you wanted to look at it. It's actually 129, the English translation. And it's entitled, Those Lacking Wisdom in the Latter Age. Laymen and laywomen in the latter age who lack wisdom should deeply rely on Amida Buddha with singleness of heart, entrusting themselves to the Buddha single-mindedly and unwaveringly for their emancipation, without turning their thoughts to other matters. However deep and heavy their evil karma may be, Amida Tathagata unfailingly saves them. This is the essence of the 18th vow that assures our birth in the Pure Land through the Nembutsu. Once our heart is thus settled, we should say the Nembutsu, whether awake or asleep, for as long as we live, humbly and respectfully. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So the reason why I chose to read this letter by Rennyo Shonin, a couple of reasons. First of all, it means quite a bit to me sentimentally. When we do our ordination to become ministers, there are certain things that we have to do. And one of the things is we have to learn how to read these letters. In English, it's very simple to read. But in Japanese, so these letters, they're called gobunsho. And gobunsho are a collection of letters. If you look on page 127 of that red Seiten, it says gobunsho at the very top, or letters of Rennyo Shonin. Okay? And there's a series of letters that were actually collected after Rennyo Shonin passed away by his grandson. Now, Rennyo Shonin was the 8th Lord Abbot of the Honganji, our mother temple in Japan. And he lived from 1415 to 1499. Okay? And when he was born into the Honganji temple, actually, hard as it may to believe, at that point, Honganji was in quite a disrepair. The following, since the time of Shinran Shonin, the founder of Honganji, had declined drastically. And it's said that they were so poor that Renyo Shonin at night had to study by the moonlight. They couldn't afford to use the oil-lit lantern, so to conserve, he would study by the moonlight. Okay? But so Renyo Shonin, in one generation, he revitalized the Honganji. And he did many things in order to do that. And one of the things that he did was this writing of letters. Okay? And so what Renyo Shonin proposed at that time, he said, we should form, and he called them ko. Ko were gathering of Jodo Shinshu followers, and he had them gather. It could have been at a farmhouse, could have been at somebody's local house, but just gatherings of followers. And to those gatherings, he would send a letter. So it's one of those, because they didn't have social media back then, what he would do is he would write the same letter maybe 10 times or 20 times, for instance. And he would send that to 20 different groups. And then they would read it at their gatherings. Just like I just read this letter today, this morning, right now, on the latter ages. He would send it. Those lacking wisdom in the latter ages is the letter that I read right now. But it was written in a spoken language format so that one of the individuals in those gatherings would read it out loud. And then they would either talk about it or basically try to figure out what Renyo was saying. But then what they then did was they would copy that letter and they would send it out to 10 other groups. So that way it sort of spread. So Renyo Shonin, without having to write to everybody in Japan, he would start off with a small group and then it would have a ripple effect. Okay? And this is how he was able to spread the Dharma. And of course, the words that were written by Renyo Shonin meant a lot to the people. And he was talking about in this day and age, or in his day and age, that because the people were unable or did not become monks and nuns, that there was a path for all beings. And that path was through the receiving of Amida's compassion. And once we receive the compassion of Amida, we, through the recitation of the Nembutsu, are assured of our birth in the Pure Land. So today, as we encounter the difficulty after the pandemic, it is incumbent on us to share with others the teaching. And in one sense, the Zoom is sort of like this call. So I've contacted 24 people today on Zoom. As far as Europe, with Victor and Mexico and New York and wherever you might be, you've listened to the Dharma. And now, hopefully, you will share a little bit of Dharma with others around you. And if it's not through direct words, through your actions, through your reflections, through who you are sharing the Dharma with others. So even though the survey from the States showed the decline of people attending the temple, when we consider what Renyo Shonin did in his one generation of increasing the numbers through listening and through expressing and sharing the Dharma, I think we do have still a great hope. And especially in our modern day society, I think there is a great need for the message of compassion and wisdom of Amida Buddha. And so today we gather here for this regular service to listen to this Dharma of Amida Buddha. Incidentally, some of the other things that Renyo Shonin did that made him so popular in his time period was one thing he did was wherever he went, he would write the name or Namo Amida Butsu. And this was a real ingenious way of transmitting the Dharma because all he needed was a pen or a brush and a piece of paper to write the name. So it almost became like a signature for him, writing this name. But you can imagine the people who received these 6-character names written by the Monshu himself. I guess in Western culture, it would be equivalent of receiving something written by, if you were a Catholic, by the Pope, right? So for us to receive something directly written by the head of the Honganji, it became treasures for that household. And it would be passed on generation to generation. In fact, there are hundreds, actually, of these scrolled, written name of the Buddha. And this indeed was one method that Renyo used to share the Dharma. And many households, upon receiving it, became very devout followers of the Nembutsu teaching. I have a copy of it. I think my aunt also has a copy of it. My brother has one copy of it. So it's not that uncommon, but it became treasures to the other households. And as I said, it was a very, very easy way of him transmitting the Dharma. If he had to pass on, say, a statue to everybody, that would be very difficult to do. Or a scroll to everybody, that would be very difficult to do. But for him, wherever he would go, he would write this letter, the name, Namo Amida Butsu, and give it to whoever was hosting him. So, again, we recognize the great work of Renyo Shonin, but at the same time, for us, as we listen to the teachings, that's our way of expressing our appreciation to not only Renyo Shonin, but all the teachers that have gone before us, including, of course, Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu. So I'd like to ask you to, again, join me in Gassho today, or to close this Dharma talk. I'd like to ask you to join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So just to let everybody know, we're coming up on a fairly busy time in our temple schedule. So next week is actually, we're going into April already. Hard to believe. April will be our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. And then second week in April is just a regular service. But the third week is our Hana Matsuri service. So this year, because of some scheduling issues, we're going to be holding the Keirokai, the Seniors Appreciation Luncheon, together with the Hana Matsuri luncheon. That's on the 16th, I think it was. The 16th. Yeah, 16th of April. So everybody who attends the service is welcome to stay for the luncheon. But if you can, just let the office know if you're attending, because we need to get numbers for ordering bento boxes for everyone. So Keirokai will be together with Hana Matsuri. Normally we have the Keirokai in March, but what happened was last year because of COVID, our Keirokai was moved to October. So it was felt maybe March was so close, it actually crept up on us very quickly. And at the board level, we hadn't prepared so quickly. So we decided, we were debating on when to do the Keirokai, and we decided to do it together with the Hana Matsuri service. So that's on the 16th. On the 15th, we actually have a guest lecturer, Reverend Satoshi Tomioka from Hawaii will be our guest minister, and he'll be giving a lecture on the 15th from 3 o'clock. That's a Saturday. And then following that, we have a potluck dinner. So you're more than welcome to join us for that. 16th is Hanamatsuri. And then the 22nd, 23rd weekend is actually our national AGM, annual general meeting. And we're actually hosting it here in Steveston. So there are some Dharma activities Saturday afternoon. If you're interested, please come and join us. And there's also a banquet on Saturday night. We're going to a Chinese restaurant. There is a fee for that one. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. People locally are more than welcome to join us for the feast as well. I think we said $30 a person is going to be how much it will be. And then Sunday is the memorial service for the national AGM. So that's all in the newsletter that's coming out next weekend as well. Okay, so April is going to be another busy month. And thank you all for joining us, and thank you for joining us by Zoom. And I hope you have a good day. Enjoy your day. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank
Have a good
thank
weekend.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody take care.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Dad, I'm gonna call you.